Hi there, welcome to the stream. This is Infinity PBR. This is what we do. We make assets on the asset store. We make tips and tutorials on YouTube. And we make games. And right now I'm working on a game called Legend of the Stones. And I live stream that process quite a few times a week. And I'm glad you're here checking it out. So definitely give the channel a like and subscribe and come back. Tonight we're going to be working on some data management. It's not going to be the most attractive. It's not going to be full of flashing magic spells and explosions or anything like that, but it's an important step of the game dev process. We're building the back end of our data management and working on, setting up items, setting up stats and skills, and making it really easy to use that data later on in the game. So as we get further into the dev process, it's not going to be a challenge to add new items, to add new stats, or to modify things, even changing their name without causing any breaking issues with the rest of the game. So that's what we're doing now. I definitely want to give you an opportunity to check out infinitypbr.com. If you haven't already, head on over and check out infinitypbr.com. We have links to our YouTube, which you've already found. We have links to our Discord, where you can find like-minded individuals who are eager to talk about game development, talk about Infinity PBR stuff, and just talk about whatever in general. And we also have this link to see all assets. This is an affiliate link for the asset store, so if you happen to want to buy anything from the asset store, after clicking that link, you will give us a small cut of the revenue that you generate, and we appreciate that. These are our assets. All the money goes straight back into producing more content for you and for others. So definitely check these out. We think it's some of the best stuff on the asset store, if we don't say so ourselves, and we do. So with that, let's get straight into it. I've been working before the stream started, getting more stuff set up for the stats and skills and mastery levels, and so I'm gonna redo my lights so that they're not flashing my eyes during this, since you're not going to see me for the rest of the stream. And I'm going to turn these lights down because they're a little bright for my tastes. And then we're going to get right into it, and I'm going to start off by showing you what I've been doing for the last little bit. Alright, got my coffee in hand and I am ready to go. So last night we were working on mastery levels. I made one change. Before, you could click the mastery level and modify some things, but I realized that I can move all of those to the main managed mastery levels window and not duplicate the work and the potential for things to break. So now when you go here, you've got the dictionaries down here and the mastery levels up here. And when you add a new one, it shows up, and the test now shows up here too. You can of course delete that. And this is where you will manage your mastery levels, change the order of them as well. From, in this case, for this demo, novice through prodigy. Although prodigy, I don't think that's the right word. It was actually just a test. I really only want 4 for Legend of the Stones, so we'll stick with that. And you can also manage the dictionary content. Now, if you click the dictionaries button there, you'll be managing the dictionary structure. So if we add another oh man, a bug, what the heck? Well, that wasn't supposed to happen, but I guess that's what we do right now, right? Why is there a bug here? Let's see. There wasn't a bug here earlier, as always is the case, right? Alright, we're clearly missing a float, and so let's see where this is coming from. Key value draw editor, dictionary drawer editor, dictionary draw, key value. Well, I'm not sure exactly. Let's see if we can isolate the bug. Okay, so the bug seems to be only on the dictionaries portion of this. So that will help us isolate it down here. And unfortunately, we don't have a see all full inspector button as we do with the object, since this is an editor window and not an object itself. But we can dig through the code. So if we go to the editor window, let's see, this is for the mastery levels. We've got our draw up here, or on GUI in this case, and show buttons, show dictionaries. So this is our draw structure. Bugs likely inside this area. And draw structure. Oh, the dictionary drawer editor is what we're going to be looking for. That's going to take us to the dictionary drawer, but we need the editor script for that. All right. Okay, let's see. We were looking for mastery levels editor. Nope. Where's the window? There it is. We were looking for draw structure. So draw structure. All right, and if mastery levels, so we're going to draw mastery structure. My guess is here is that we deleted one of the mastery levels, but this is likely still searching for it. Perhaps. Yeah, just change or delete that. See if it happens here too. It does, okay. And we can see that it's stopping after float. It's supposed to be showing a whole list of types there. Alright, so show common structure. And common structure, add to all. We got that right here. If we go down for each key value, each one of these is a key value. Start row, and then it shows, if it's mastery level, show mastery levels array dictionaries. Alright, so let's do a debug here. Dot count is going to be that dot count, or length. Okay, fair enough. Just want to see, we should see 4, right? We have 4 mastery levels now. I'm guessing we're going to see 5. Look at that, it magically started working. Well, well, well. Who knew? Well, that's a little frustrating because that means there's still a bug. There's still a bug. Oh, and I put this in the wrong spot. That's the up button. That's the down button. I think what we've run into a very similar bug in the past, though, and I think it's because there was a key values that was just empty. If it's similar to the previous bugs we faced. Let's see if we could try to force it to appear again. So we had a mastery level, and I'm going to close that, and then I'm going to do a new one of these, see if we can, okay, and I'm going to delete this mastery level, and then add a new one of these, and alright, well I can't recreate the bug, so I guess I'm just going to have to wait to find it again. There's likely a bug where something in this structure of the key values didn't have a key value. And it should have a key value, but Unity has this quirk where somehow not all of the scriptable objects update properly until these scripts are brought in again. So changing any script, just adding an empty space in the script and saving it and re-importing that script would fix the issue. So it's not a bug in our code per se, rather it's a quirk of Unity that is appearing as a bug in our code. We can't address it though. We can add some code that says if it doesn't exist, don't show it, that type of thing, or refresh, which is an annoying fix. It's a slow and annoying hack, but it's possible. The other solution is just saving the script again, which is also annoying and time consuming. Anyways, so now when you make adjustments here, you can add a float and they show up here. You can add a string and it shows up there. You can change it to display as text and it changes here. So for all management of the mastery level data, you can just do it on this window and select the mastery level. This will show all the different mastery level objects in your project. So you can have a main mastery level and perhaps an alt one for maybe a different character type or something else. So, I'll turn the music down now a little bit too. All right, so that's what we did there. And then next I have some updates on the stats and skills. That's what I was working on before. Oh, what's this? This shouldn't be happening. I really wasn't expecting a bug with the stats and skills. It's doing the whole can't click on things right now. Come on. Let me click away. I'm clicking on inspector here. Come on. Don't do this. Usually after a little bit it lets me click away. Alright. Turn this off, the bug goes away. So, Alright. Let's see if I can show it again. Not in the mastery level, it's in the dictionaries. Okay, so this is the same bug. So let's try to solve this then. That's I mean, it's certainly a little frustrating here because, well, first of all, this was working just fine. And then unfortunately, this doesn't give us that much information about what it's asking for. Obviously, we're doing the draw float, and then we go into draw float, and it's saying for every dictionary, all dictionary structure, get key value. All dictionary structure. Is this not updating? Set all dictionaries. When is this called? Alright, so it's called on this drawer. Set all dictionaries to stat and skill dictionaries of object type. Let's see. We're looking for the stat. Whoop, where'd it go? It disappeared. Alright. This is going to return the stat and skills array. Ah, where object. Okay, no. I thought I had it, but nope. Where object type equals object type. Select dictionary. That seems appropriate. Okay. And so we're saying all dictionaries. key value drive editor. Set all dictionaries. We're passing a set of dictionaries to that. And so there we go. I'm going to say debug.log. Oops. Log. Got all dictionary structures count length dictionaries. I just want to see because on the armor skills there are 4, so it should get 4 dictionaries. So let's see if I go away from here and come back. Let me just close the tab and load it again and click this button to load it. Alright, got 4 dictionaries. That's good. That part's good. It's still giving us the bug though. Okay. Somewhere it did say got 4 dictionaries. Okay. Alright, so it's saying for each dictionary, get value key, value key. So let's just do some debugs here. I mean, it could be that it's not getting the key value. Debug.log. Trying to get key value for key, and key value test equals get key value key, or D, we need a dictionary dot get key value, and debug.log got test dot key value. Okay. Now I'm expecting this to fail right here. That's my hypothesis. Of course, since I'm re-importing a script, this could magically solve itself as well. In a way, it's good that it didn't magically solve itself. Okay, trying to get flavor text. Didn't get flavor text. Alright. One other thing. Well, I guess I can just go to the inspector here. Show the full inspectors. So we have flavor text on those. Aha, we don't have it on leather. So leather is missing flavor text. That's interesting. So William has asked in the chat, is this system going to be useful for crafting recipes? Sorry, I didn't see the message earlier. For crafting recipes, huh? Rather than for crafting recipes? Guess a little bit of both. Yes. Yes, I think so. Off the top of my head, let's see. Well, yeah, you could do it. If it's a simple like this plus this equals that type of thing, then that's easy. Like, let's say you have a red root as an item, and if you add a blue root, you get a purple potion. You could set up the dictionary to put those together. However, I think a robust crafting system would probably need its own new module, so that the items that you use to craft, you'd build with the items module, but the connections between them and an easy auto system to set those connections probably would be better served in a module, a different module. You could do a simple system with this just fine, but for a more robust system, I think it would require a custom module. All right, so leather doesn't have what the others have, and that's a problem. I'm not sure why it doesn't. It should. It really should. Is crafting something you'd like to have in your game, I assume, then? So this actually exposes a potential bigger problem. So I'm going to delete leather here. And now we're not going to have the bug anymore. Oh. What? Okay, maybe it's exposed a different type of problem. Well, they all have flavor text now. All right, let's see what we're trying to get it from. Let's go back in this chain here. Debug.log drawing. What is the name of the object here? Object. Class name. No. Okay. Well, now it just worked. Well, I'm interested in that it's doing this 3 times, but only doing this once. Where does this break off? Got 406, 240. Must be before that. So 197, 87, 133, 51, 287. 51, 287, 406, 240, 406, 239. Okay, so 239 we do this, and 240 we do this. And it's going to do that for each key value. Draw float. guess it's doing it once for each armor skill, but there's not displaying them all. So I'm confused as to why it's doing it 3 times. Alright, show dictionaries. Alright, we gain them all of type, that's fine. Draw the structure, that's also fine. Alright, draw structure. We're going to go into 287 here. We're in stats and skills. So draw structure, stats and skills. And then common. So maybe it's doing once for each of these, but why is it saying flavor text each time? Draw float. Ah. I see. I was doing that call in the wrong section. It was indeed doing it 3 times for float. And then it would do armor class 3 times because it was copying this to the other sections. So one fix to the old-ish bug could be here. So I'm going to put a note in here. Bug. If there's a bug, then we could fix it here by adding the key value if it's missing. But this does expose, as I said earlier, an issue where if the user were to remove manually dictionaries, key values, then it could cause a problem. Essentially, this script will take the key value from the first object in the list and just use that. So there's options, but we'll see. I think I need to think on it more. All right, so that debug worked. Ah, yes, I just want to make my own might and magic. I think I wrote in BASIC in the 2nd grade. I remember moving turtles on a screen on an Apple IIe back in the 2nd grade. I remember it was probably in 7th grade or so. My brother was into coding and much better than me. That guy's much better than me at it. He's got a whole computer science degree and all that crap. Masters, and works at Google and is higher up and all that stuff. But for me, I got these random coding magazines in the mail, and I would load up my Apple IIgs, just start typing in the codes that came in the magazines, and inevitably I would make a typo somewhere and it just wouldn't work. And I didn't even know how to save them to a disk, so there's that. And I remember I was making my own script once. I don't know what I was doing, but my variables were all like fart and snot, stuff like that. And my dad was like, you know, you should name them something that helps you remember what they mean and all that stuff. And I was like, all I wanted to do was write snot and fart as the variable names. Jeez, let me alone, you know? But yeah, he was right, of course. But yeah. Nice. Yeah, I do wish I had learned more coding back then. I think that would have changed my life. Um, but it didn't. So there you go. So here we are. Here we are. All right. So assuming that this works, I'm going to create a new... Let's see what happens. Stats and skills. And this is going to be leather. And... All right. So there we go. So the problem here is that it did not update the key values. So we need to update the key values. So let's do this. Maybe this was just an oversight on my part. I meant to do this, but then stopped for the night and forgot to come back. Stats and skills. All right. Let us figure out how to do this. Is there a... I guess we're going to create a public method. Public void check dictionary. And... we're using static infinity pbr.modules.editor utilities. Utilities? Is that right? Not utilities. It's editor utilities. But this is not an editor script. That's fine. That's fine. We'll make it work. Okay. I'm gonna put a note here. And we'll say don't use these methods at runtime. They'll be slow. Oops. All right, and can I derive from editor utility? Utilities. Guess I can't. Just want to make sure I'm not typing something wrong. Darn. Well. All right, well, in utilities, I want to public static get stats and skills dictionaries, and it's going to return enumerable string dictionary. Actually, no. Change this. Key values. Key value. So yeah. All right. So what I'm looking to do is get a list of all the key values inside all the stats and skills of this type. So get stats and skills array of type, object type, and I'll add that there because we need that object type. So we're going to say object type dot need stats and skills array 2. But yeah, this is the part that takes up a lot of resources, which is why you should not do this at runtime. And we won't worry about caching it in this context. All right, so get the array and returning only the objects of that type with that object type. And then from those, we're going to select many x dot dictionary dot key values dot distinct. I think that will work. Dot. Yep, and then we're just going to return that. So if I'm reading this correctly, all the stat and skills objects of this object type, which in this case is armor skills, select all the key values from all their dictionaries, and then distinct those. So we're only going to get one key value per. And then in our stats and skills, so move that over. For check dictionary, we're going to say list key value, actually var key value, var new key values equals object type. So get the key values of type dot accept x dictionary dot key values dot to list. So this is going to return a list of all the key values except for those key values. And actually, you know what? Well, a part of me feels like I've done this already. I'm getting deja vu here. But this is not going to do the accept properly because the key values might be have different values, and so it won't accept. How about, let's see if we can do this. Accept x dot dictionary. So we're going to return a string instead. Dot key. So we'll just return the key. Dot select key x dot key. All right, so from all the key values, select many. Many, is that right? No, okay, I think just select key and then distinct. Now we return a string, and then here accept dictionary dot key values dot select x dot to x dot key dot to maybe just that. Okay, except for those keys. So new key values, and we're going to say okay, then for each I'm not happy with this, because even if I add them, I'm not adding the right show, like which values show, the floats or the ints or the bools or whatnot. I mean, it's easier. Let me walk through it. It was easier for the items, because the items aren't meant to always have the same delete leather, because it's going to throw issues if I select stats and skills here. But if we look at the items, we've got dictionaries for the items, but in the manager for this, when we look at the dictionaries, same issue. Never mind then. For some reason I thought that these could have a different structure for each. So basically the problem I'm facing is that while these are all supposed to share the same structure in the dictionary, which you should be able to set up and manage on the window, this only works if they all share the same structure. But this is not saved anywhere. So the problem I'm facing is that well, I guess if I create a new item object class, what happens? So let me just select one, and we can see the dictionary there. Create a new one. Test. And if we look at the well, this one has it. Well, maybe I did solve this problem before. Match item attributes, match dictionary. What did I do? Oh, I do remember this now. Ah, I see. So for this one, I took all of the key values that were found on all the other objects of this type, minus one because it's not on the new one, and then added those and just cloning the first one. I see. I see. Now, can this be bubbled up to module scriptable object editor? Probably. Let's see if I can do that. Let's see if I can bubble these up. Oh, well, no, it's pretty bespoke. Because we're carrying item objects, item objects, item objects. Okay, that's fine. I'll just copy it for now. Make it work. Make it pretty later. So, let's see. Stats and skills editor. I thought I had done... Alright, item object editor. Match dictionary. Initial setup. This object has been set up. Aha. And where does initial setup get called? Right here on the top of the draw. That makes sense. And if it's not set up, then we'll return. And on initial setup, return true if it's already been set up. Okay. Okay, whoops. Get stats and skills array of type. Subject object type. We don't need to do those. So we're going to say match dictionary, and this is going to be stats and skills. Other objects. Okay, so again, key values, other objects, except other objects where... Okay, that should work. And for each key value, if the string is null or white space, continue. Otherwise, count stats and skills of type that have key value. We'll have to do that one. Try to get key value, clone this object, dictionary, key value, add. Okay, so what we're looking to do now is get, where's the object? Initial setup, match dictionary, this one. Count stats and skills of type. Type. Okay. Stats and skills array of type, where dictionary is not null. Count has key value key. Were these returning two different things? Item object. Stats and skills. That's weird. So it's getting an array of these stats and skills, and then where the dictionary is not null, count number of those x.has key value. Do we not have a has key value? I guess we don't. Oh yeah, we don't have a has key value. Well, now we do. All right. So now our test has, or that's not what we're looking for. That one already had it. Let's go back to our stats and skill now. Wherever they were, armor stats. So now we've got these. I'm going to create a new one. Stats and skills, and this is leather skill. And it's got the right stuff. All right, good. So now if we go here, there's no errors because they all have the right stuff. Wow. And if we add to all, they all have the right stuff still. All right. This is a Unity thing, that's not me. That's not my stuff. That's a Unity thing. All right. Well, that was the wrong one, but that's okay. Delete that. All right. Well, that was a bit of a sidetrack. Totally worth it to solve that. Mastery levels doesn't have the same issue because they aren't individual scriptable objects. So when we add a dictionary, the script just handles it. And when we add a new one, they get that as well. So that should be all good there. Okay, so we are still working on these stats and skills. So let's look at these. We have our main settings where you can set whether this can be trained, and if it can be trained, then more details turns into, okay, a bug, good. This is what I was working on earlier, so it's fine to find a bug. Mastery levels, actually. Interesting. Okay, let's figure this one out. I think there's an out of range, so that means there's no mastery levels, I guess. So we'll say if if this object dot mastery levels equals null, return. Can we say this? Do that? Okay. So if not mastery levels, return. Let's see if that's the issue. If there's, I don't think it will be though, because of this is an out of range, so it does look like it's actually trying to find it. Yeah. And then we're going to say if this object dot mastery levels dot count equals 0, return. So if the count's 0, if it's empty, we're going to return, because that means there's nothing for it to get. Okay, and then we have to do the same thing there, because even though this says just to be completed right now, it's going to be completed. Hey Aaron Jackson, how are you? Good evening to you as well. Alright, so let's see why. It's interesting. See why this is happening. Oh, I should probably unhide that. Let's see. I'm gonna unhide that in the inspector so I can see what's actually there. I'm reading a text from a friend, so I'm going to be quiet for a minute. Okay. So what we don't have is the option to set this. Or do we? Ah. We set it here. And then this has it down here. Okay. All right, let me rehide that. Because I don't want people changing that. They should all have the same, every type should have the same mastery levels. An Irish coastline scene. They're doing level design for the Irish coast, and then Bot Battle is a game, I'm assuming. I love alliteration, by the way, so Bot Battle is hands down my cup of coffee. All right, so this is okay. We can do this this bug that's not really a bug, turns out. It's more of a thing. This part we don't have to put it here. Instead, we will do this. If no mastery levels, then we will say message box, no mastery levels have been assigned. You can assign mastery levels to this and other stat skills of the same object type in the Manage Stats and Skills window by clicking the button above. Message box warning. And make sure these are capitalized. Alright, so if we don't have mastery levels assigned, then we'll show that and return. And if we don't have, if there are no mastery levels, then we will say mastery levels object, this object.masterylevels.name does not have any levels assigned. Open the mastery levels management window by clicking the link, or the button in when viewing individual mastery level objects, or select window, game modules, And I don't know what the rest of it is. It's up here, though. Nice. Are you able to post links? If you can post a link, post a link. I'd love to see your artsy, realistic level design. I'm always a fan of that. And that's an interesting overlay. Never heard of that concept. That's cool. Huh. Okay, I'll check it out. Give me 1 second. Game modules, mastery levels. Huh, that was simple. Mastery levels. And then we'll return. So, if I go back to mastery or stats and skills and switch this to alt, which has no levels yet, and then go back to the inspector, we'll say mastery levels object. So when we select that, I'll say mastery levels object alt mastery levels does not have any levels assigned. Open the mastery window. Okay, cool. Or we can just switch to this and then oh, not there. Stats and skills. Main mastery. And then it will show up. To be completed, but these are the different levels. All right. Showcase. Gamer Forever, welcome to the stream. Let's check out Aaron's stuff. Ooh, look at that. So this is the week before, same scene. And then this is Sundays. And you're doing this by hand, or are you using tools, or what? What do you use? And that's an interesting water. Gamer Forever. Look, there you are. Give you a 100%. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the Discord. Sometimes I can't talk. Oftentimes I can't talk. All right. So with that little bug out of the way, you can turn this on and off, and I'm not sure exactly what's going to go here yet, but if it can't be trained, it means that the whole mastery levels doesn't matter. This only matters if it can be trained. And that means the base details or the effects that this has on other things may change. Ah, it's a KWS wire system. I got that, and I was very disappointed because it only works on PCs. And the developer said it does work on Macs, and he gave me some stuff, but those didn't work. And then he said he doesn't have a Mac to test on. And so, well, not sure how you can say this will work on your Mac if you don't have a Mac to test on, but what can you do? And then can be modified. If it can't be modified, it means that other stats and skills, items, etc. won't be able to choose this to modify. So, you know, there could be, obviously the skill armorer, for instance, might modify this. So you want this selected, otherwise other skills like armorer would not be able to modify that. So we want that turned on. And pretty much we're going to do the same to all of these. And so before we get into the mastery level / more details panel, one of the things I wanted to make easier is you just saw me clicking a bunch of buttons, which is fine. It's not terribly difficult to click buttons, but it would be easier if I didn't have to click those buttons. So in our stats and skills here, I want to make that easier. So I'm going to create a new button. Well, William, what can I say? I don't have a PC. I wish I did. I mean, I kind of wish. I don't really want one because I don't have space for another computer, but sorry, now I am yawning. Okay, so I want to have a new button here called main settings, and this is going to be in the window. Too many things open now. Here's already open. All right, so mastery level. Where's our show buttons? Show buttons. So mastery levels, and we're gonna do main settings. Okay, and then show main settings. Okay. Oops. All right. Space, start vertical box. Show main settings body. And we'll place that here, and then make this main settings. Don't need a selection pop-up. Instead, we will do this. Save and look first. Oh, hello there, the bull. You know, according to YouTube, 100% of my viewers are male. It doesn't know because some of you might be non-gendered and it only gives me male and female. Also, I'm assuming at least one of my viewers out there is female, and that YouTube just doesn't know. But clearly, most of my viewers identify as male and are in their 30s. Or is it 25 to 35? Something like that. Not terribly young, not terribly old. Male. All over the world. Yep. Alright. Main settings. I'm going to turn that on. Okay. And turn the rest off. Now in main settings... S, not... Okay. In main settings, we're going to have... a list of each object. So you are profiled. That's what happens in this world. For each stats and skills in this object. No, what's the code we use for this? I guess maybe we don't. So it's going to be in get stats and skills array of type, object type. Ah. Well, this we don't need that. Okay. For each one of those, we're going to start row and also do a space. So I'm going to remove the space up here. Start row, end row, and then in the middle we will do label. Oh, wrong button. Stats and skills dot object name. Make that bold and 150 for now, and then maybe it's 150 then bold. Yeah. And then we will do stats and skills dot can be trained equals button. I'm gonna copy this code actually. I'm gonna copy it and modify it from here because there's all this color stuff I don't want to retype. Keep the height at 40. Do I have a height here? Let's make one. Int height. Okay, can be trained. Can be modified. Let's see what this looks like. Okay, good. So actually make this a little skinnier all around. I'll make those not bold, and then finally start vertical and end vertical, and then here we're going to copy and steal from ourselves. Show base values. Take these three. I'm going to remove the label grays and see what that looks like. Okay. Alright, so these buttons can be a little wider then. Make them 120 each. And the height is now, let's make it 50. Let's see how that looks. I suppose these can be a little smaller too. Hey everyone, I'm glad you're in the stream. If you haven't liked and subscribed, please do so. It always makes me feel warm and fuzzy inside. Alright, so now it's easier to select all of these. So if I go to my base stats, I can more quickly say, okay, these can be modified but not trained. So it's much easier now to go through them all in a list and then set their points and all that. In fact, for this, I do want the points to start at 11. At least in Legend of the Stones, they start at something like 11. But they can't be trained, not these ones. But the armor skills can be trained. Alright, so that's good for the main settings there. I'm happy with that. What are we going to do about mastery levels? Well, that's going to be a little bit more challenging. So let's start by looking at these mastery levels. How do you live with only one computer? Well, I technically only have one computer and a work computer. It's not mine, and it's not, I can't really use it, you know. It's really just for Zoom, to be honest. Yeah, I used to have more computers, I guess, but I think ideally I would prefer a laptop that's just really powerful, and if I needed to, like a plugged in graphics card and stuff, because I like being able to take it on the road and taking it to like Starbucks and stuff. And the big hurdle with having a desktop like the iMac is that you can't just take it with you. So if I'm working on a project, I have to stay here, you know. In the past, I would go to Hawaii for a month back when I was fun employed. And that was great. Just take the laptop, work on all the projects. And I think they've got really skinny monitors, like small travel monitors now, don't they? External monitors that you can use. And I imagine that those might get even better in the coming years. But it'd be really nice to have a travel monitor so you can sit down, like have an extra monitor with you so your laptop can be expanded. Or maybe Apple will come out with 17-inch laptops again like they used to have. Those were great. I always got those. But yep. All right. So let's look at what we used to do for the stats and skills and get some inspiration. So this is what it used to look like. Now, I'm not going to use is equip skill, is magic skill. Those can be part of the dictionaries. So we don't need that. Starting skill, again, can be part of dictionaries. We don't need that. But what we do need is, well, wait, not these. Those are all part of the dictionaries as well, I think. If I look at armor, so starring skill, whether it's magic and all that, can live here. Oh, and we don't have stats and skill set up in the dictionaries yet because we're still building those. But we can do like is magic skill and is weapon skill. I mean, that's a a little redundant because it's part of weapon skills. So I really don't need that. So we can see a starting item. And then starting item will take in an item object. So then when we look at our individual items here, we can choose something. So leather might start with well, we don't have it listed here, but we'll say it starts with a staff. So stuff like that. Okay, so we can do that. I see. I was looking at the wrong type. See, because this is not trainable. This one is. And so anything that can be trained for each level of proficiency or mastery oh yeah, portable monitor. What do they look like? Portable monitor. Whoops, I can't spell. Monitor. I monitor. I can't spell at all. Huh. A 14-inch portable monitor. That is pretty small. Do they all have the same similar stand type? Interesting. That's also interesting. Oh, do you slide? I like that. Well, and the video just stops right there. All right. It's an interesting idea. I wonder how heavy it is. It looks like it ends up clunky. But it's a neat idea. This is an old MacBook. It's 1.7 pounds. Relatively low reviews. That's why I thought something like that. That's too bad. Oh yeah, these are the ones that I've seen with that kind of style. This one looks like an old computer though. I'm not in the market for one of these right now, but I think it's just cool. And they all look kind of the same. All right, sorry. Got sidetracked. Let's get back on track. All right, so each one of the trainable skills can affect other things. So what I'm thinking now is how I want to set this up. Sky's the limit, do it anyways, but the idea is that when you have bodybuilding, or delete that for now. When you have bodybuilding at the novice level, your hit point max will get a proficiency boost, and then per skill point in bodybuilding, an additional boost. So this will be a 10% at novice level and 1 skill point. I didn't have it here, but it might be 20% base for expert level. But if you have 5 skill points, then this would be 0.1, and it would be 28% boost in your max hit points. So that's how this works, and each level would go up progressively. And these are set here because the system will compute the final values based on all this stuff. So the question though is, do I want to save one row with the other stat skill and all 6 of these? Or do I want to save base values and then star skill and values and do 6 lists? I'm imagining how I will script it in the end. Like, do I have hit points max? Oh yes, I do. Then, or rather, if I'm computing hit points max, go back and look and do the math. I think for mounted external monitors, they have to be super lightweight if they're going to be mounted on a laptop back. It would also be neat if you could pull out left, right, or top. And then what if you could mount 2 and pull one out left, one out right, and have like 3 monitors on your laptop? Super nerd. Alright, I think... what does it look like here? Novice, values base. Oh. So this one is separated into 3. It just adds it to all 3. Okay. I think I'll do something similar, but I won't force it to be added to all 3. Instead, it will just be added. So, using this as a template. We are going to do a couple things. We're going to ignore that. We're not doing that. So these are our mastery levels, and then I'm going to add public list mastery mods, mastery mods, is a list of mastery mod, and called mastery mods. Goes new list mastery mod, and we have to make this class. So we'll do that public class mastery mod, and this class is going to have so we're actually going to do 3 of these. Oh. We're going to do mastery mods base, mastery mods per skill point, and mastery mods per level. So it's 3 separate ones, and each one is going to have a public string stats and skills UID, and public float value, and public float proficiency. Float proficiency. And in this context, we don't need to do a UID, so stats and skills. I keep forgetting that. We use UID at runtime, but since this is itself a scriptable object, not being serialized, we can just call the actual stats and skills. But any runtime use would require the UID. If you're saving a stats and skills object, you would need to save the UID and relink the object later. But we'll get to that when we do the demo scenes. All right, so stats and skills, value, proficiency. Okay. All right. Wait. This isn't right. Okay, so instead, each one of these will be a list. It's going to be the equal size as mastery levels. And then each one of those will contain a mods list, which is an arbitrary size of these. Yeah. That should work, I suppose. We'll see. Okay, and we need a public void check mastery in count, and we're going to say, can we do mastery mods base dot count equals 10? No. Dot no, not that. Darn, I was hoping there was just an easy way to add X, but I guess not. Okay, so we're going to say int mastery levels count equals mastery levels dot count. If mastery levels dot count equals 0, then return. Actually, no, that's not true. If mastery, actually, let's see. So while mastery mods base dot count does not equal mastery levels count, if mastery mods base dot count is greater than mastery levels count, then mastery mods base dot remove at, can we say remove last? Remove oh, we could do this. Okay. better. Okay. Base diff, mastery levels count. So we'll get the differences first. Base difference, point difference, and level difference. Mastery mods per skill point and mastery mods per level. And then we'll say if base difference is not equals 0. How about this? Better. If it's greater than 0, so that means we have more than we need, then we'll say mastery mods base dot remove range. So we know we're going to remove base diff, and then it's going to be mastery mods base dot count minus base diff. So let's say there's 13 and we need to remove 5. So index 12 minus 5 would be 7. So we'd remove 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Remove 5. We have 13. In the end, we'd need down to index 7. Somebody else has done the math on this. Maybe 3D remove last 5 of list. This to remove range. Okay, so it does not include 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it does include the first one, and then it does 3. So if in this case, if I wanted to remove 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, there are 8. So I would want only 3 left, so I'd go to the 4th and then to 5. And so I need to be the length or count, which is 8, minus the number I want to remove minus 1. So if I'm removing 1, wait, if I've got 8 and I want to remove 1, then count minus 1. And it would be 7. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then I would move 1. Okay. If I wanted to move 5, I would do count 8 minus 5. It's 3. 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 3. Move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So yes, count minus. Okay, I had it right. I think. Okay, so if base diff is greater than 0, then we'll do that. And we'll do the same for these. And then if it's less than 0, add range. New Okay, so we're going to make a new list of mastery mods and add that many. So if this has 5 and this is 8, then it would be 5 minus 8, so -3. So that means math of absolute. -3 turns into 3, so we'll add 3. Okay. And that should make sure that whenever we call this, the number of stuff we have will always match. So on the editor, when we do our initial setup, before we're returning, we'll do this object.check mastery count. So we'll always do that whenever checking this. And on the stats and skills, we will do on awake, probably. Do checks. Private void do checks. And then for each stats and skills in get stats and skills array of type, stats and skills type, stats and skills dot check mastery count. All right, so we'll do checks every time this awakes, and we'll do checks every time the mastery levels changes. So show selection pop-up. We'll say so if it's the first time, we'll do it, and then if temp index equals index equals current index. Nope. Current index. And then if temp index does not equal current index, that means we changed it. So we'll do checks again. All right, so now if these bugs aren't here, so if I select one of our trainable ones, see the inspector, mastery mods, all 0. That's too bad. Let's see what it spits out. All right, -4. So it should be doing this add range. Create new list of specific size. try that. See if the internet came to the rescue. If I get back to Unity. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Tell your friends. Tell your enemies. Hey, look at that, it worked. So now we have 4. And you know, we should do one more thing. We should have a name. Level name. And then on our check here, we should, for each mastery level in mastery levels dot mastery levels, we will do mastery mods base. I guess we need to do a different one. For int I equals 0, I is less than mastery levels count. Oh, we can do that. I plus plus. Mastery mods base dot or I dot level name equals mastery levels dot mastery levels I dot name. Yep. And do the same for this and this. Now that should give them the names. Perfect. No UID for those. Alright, now let's add. Well, let's actually go to our move these debugs. Whoa. I have no degree in game programming or any kind of coding or programming whatsoever. Welcome to the stream, by the way. I do not have a degree. All self-taught. I suppose back in the 90s, my father and his colleague started an internet business, and they hired us youngins as cheap labor that they didn't have to pay right away to make web pages. This is back in the day when internet cost per hour or per minute, and they made web pages, and we got paid 20 bucks an hour to make web pages, and eventually $50 per page, because they realized that the better we got, the less we got paid by the hour. And so that was my first coding. Other than that, I've been self-taught. So this is one of those things that oftentimes it's good to get a degree. I know my brother, who has a master's in computer science, not a master's, a PhD, even beyond a master's. He is much better than I am and probably knows this stuff. Like, he could just look at this and know exactly what it means. So there's that, but you don't have to get a degree in it if you can teach yourself. All right, let's open these. So now all of them should have the same settings. Of course, if I select any of them, then we'll see the same settings. This is not my bug. That's Unity's bug. But what I wanted to see is what happens if I go to my mastery levels and add a new one. And then I go back here. Should see it. Test. Yes, indeed. And then if I go back to mastery levels and delete it, go back to my inspector. I should see it there too. However, what happens if I add a mastery level and never go back there? That's a problem because those don't have it until I view that. Oh, Rapture Countdown. You shouldn't have. Thank you. Fist bump indeed. Are you going to school for a degree? Yeah, it's true. The architecture stuff, all that stuff, and connections too. You do meet people. You do meet people, which is always a good thing, if you're into meeting people. So I think what I need to do is when I add or delete here, I need to also run that code. Otherwise, there's the chance that somebody will add something here, never go back to the stats and skills, and it will be missing. It's kind of like the learning from YouTube while not learning architecture while doing it is similar to going to the forums and learning from the forums. You can get some good stuff there, but you can also get led very much astray. All right, so editor window, mastery levels. So where we do an add and where we do a delete. So add, show add level button, and then underneath here I'm going to put private void update stats and skills. And so we're going to get a list. So get stats and skills array dot where nice from the internet, huh? By the way, Rapture Countdown, all this stuff where this is all link stuff, and I just learned this a week and a half ago. I've just been trying to use the heck out of it. So get an array of our stats and skills where x for each one dot mastery levels equals this mastery levels. So for all stuff where the mastery level is this dot to list, we can actually do over here. We'll do for each stats and skills in that stats and skills check mastery count. Boom. That's all we have to do, and then we'll just call this every time we add a new mastery level and every time we delete one. Exit GUI, which is here. Well, best of luck to you, Rapture Countdown. I think it's certainly not a bad degree to get. As everyone says on the Game Dev Show on Sundays, if you've seen that, people with a degree, you can get a job. Maybe it's not game dev as your day job, but those jobs can pay a lot of money. And that extra money means that you've got lots of free time and toys to play games with and make games with. So there's definitely value in getting that kind of a degree, I think. I do kind of wish, I wonder, I grew up near San Francisco, and I realized that's a very privileged place to grow up because of all the tech companies around. I didn't necessarily realize it at the time when I was younger, but I know plenty of people who went to college, came back, and got jobs at, Palantir before they were public. I know one guy in particular who I'm not going to talk about too much, except to say that he worked there and turned that money into over $1 billion now. He was an angel investor in many tech companies you guys probably know. And I wonder what would have happened if I had stayed here or stayed near San Francisco rather than leaving and trying to be an actor and filmmaker. Or if I had gotten a more traditional job rather than doing my own thing. Or if I had learned coding earlier in the right way. Who knows? Probably I'd own a house now. Instead, I don't own a house, so what can you do? And now I don't know if I'll ever own a house to live in because they're too expensive. So who knows? Hello, how are you? Welcome to the stream. I'm very glad you're here. Don't forget to like and subscribe, everybody. All right, so now this should work, but I want to kind of confirm it. So I'm going to go back to here, and I'm going to say debug.log checked. And I just want to see that they do get checked when I add a delete. Because if they don't get checked, that's a problem. But they should get checked. And let's see. Didn't. Oh, what is this? What is going on? This is why we do the check-in of the check-in. Checking this. Checking. Thank you for subscribing. Zombie likes it too. Well, I'm wondering what exactly is null referencing here. So let's see what happens when I add another one. Just gibberish. Checking chain. And then chain says there's no reference on Hey, thank you for subscribing, Double Zombie. There should be like an extra one that has like if 2 zombies show up in less than a minute, there's like an extra zombie battle or something. I'm wondering if, well, why would this give a null reference if it didn't? So let's check a little bit extra stuff. Debug.log mastery levels dot name count, and just spit out the count. And then we'll do the diff again. Debug.log diffs. And we'll do base diff, point diff, level diff, and Spec.log count check. And we'll just spit out the mastery mod's base count just to see. Now I don't want to click into chain yet because there's a chance that chain, I don't know, there's a chance that it's missing something, who knows. Test it one more time. Main mastery 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Difference is -1, -1, -1. Count check is now 7. So it got added. So what is null referencing? Just spit out that, and then level name is, I'm really just trying to trigger the debug or the null reference. Mastery level name is, so one of these should do a debug, or not debug, a null reference on one of those three, or one of those lower two lines. That's the plan, at least. Alright, another random number. Add. Alright, 8. Doing index 7. Mastery mods base 7 is null. But that makes no sense, because here we're saying mastery mod space count is 8, so index is 0 through 7. Doing index 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is the 8th one. A mystery. No. Quito Espanol. Even less than that. I don't speak much Spanish, unfortunately. I should. I wish I did. I took Spanish a long time ago in 8th grade, and I got an F in the class. The teacher gave me a D so I wouldn't have to repeat it. And then I took theater classes instead. And I enjoyed that more. I hated school, by the way. I'm a smart guy, but I just hated school. Let's see. So level name is... So this isn't the null reference. That's fine. It's the level name. Why would level name be null? we'll try something. If equals null, return or continue. So I'm gonna do something cray-cray. And I'm gonna just run it twice. See if that works. Because for some reason, level name, it's part of the class, so it shouldn't be missing. So okay, it shouldn't be missing. So let's do another test. Clear this out. Huh. Okay. Maybe it is that, not the name. I'm just wondering if like it needs one extra frame to catch up to itself or something. All right, so that time checking chain. Huh. Checking chain again. That is so weird. What happens when we add? Okay, let me just look at chain. And now it works just fine. So somehow in mastery level, first of all, delete's not doing the update like it's supposed to. But in mastery level, huh. Trying just another thing here. Oh, I need to put this above exit GUI, that's why. So now I'm going to try it basically one editor frame later. If for some reason it's just not updating itself fast enough, I don't know. I don't know. Let's find out. That seems to do the trick. Okay, so my only guess is that it was trying to update these before this was fully set, even though technically it should have been. Through the magic of the coding in the back end, it wasn't. So delaying one frame using a bool to check whether we should do the check or not seems to have worked. I don't know why. This is something that Rapture Countdown will learn in school, perhaps. And you can come back and tell us why. But I have no idea. I'm sure there's a reason. There's probably some thing behind the order of when things get set in the back end or whatever. And I do want to make sure they get checked when I delete too before I remove that last debug log. Push the wrong button. Alright, so clear that. Good. Checked a whole bunch of stuff. And delete the last check. And the other thing is yes, I call it twice. I don't want to call it twice. I'm gonna do one last check of an add and a delete. It's not going to spit out any checks. I deleted that debug log. I'm just going to look for errors. No errors. Okay. All right, good. So now when we add mastery levels, any stats and skills object that references that will get the right update as well. Plus, it will also update when you look at these in the inspector. All right. All right, next on these is going to have to wait. The next step is going to be doing the mastery levels to be completed, where each one is going to have the options of adding base values per skill and per level. An option set which scripts run. Yeah, that's interesting. I know that the order of scripts attached to an object is like top to bottom, and that sometimes matters. Interesting that you can set other scripts as well. I wonder if that's something you can force on a project or if it's a per project thing. Yeah, because if we remember our bodybuilding here, it's going to be similar to this, where you can add a stat or skill to effect, and then you can choose to add it to the 3 different lists. What would that look like? I have a early meeting tomorrow, 7 a.m., so I kind of don't want to stay too long, but I also kind of want to see what it would look like. You know what I mean? So this would be in here, and to be completed, show mastery. And so we're going to start by show add stats and skills button, or pop-up. And this is going to be background color color.yellow, and then we'll do background color.white to reset it. There's white. And then start vertical box and vertical box, and then inside the box we're gonna do script execution order settings. I'll have to keep that in mind for Legend of the Stones. I want to avoid that for any asset store stuff, just in case somebody else has something set up completely different. Let's see. Where was that bit? Here we are. All right. So let's get all stats and skills first. So we're going to do var get stats. What's the issue here? Get oh, that's why, because I was doing var first. Get stats and skills array, and okay, so var stats and skills. We're going to say trainable stats and skills equals get the array dot where x dot can be trained dot to list and then we're going to say var existing stats and skills equals I'm not sure how to do this one yet. This object dot mastery mods base dot join. This object dot mastery mods per level. No. Union maybe. Okay. Dot union. This object dot mastery mods per skill point. Dot distinct dot to list. So if I'm reading this correctly, then existing stats and skills will take all these three lists and then get the distinct values from them. But that's not quite right. So dot select many x dot mods dot select many x dot mass stats and skills. So this object's mastery mod's base. Select many mods Not sure why I can't do 2 select menus in a row. Oh, maybe because I have this down here and I just need to finish what I was doing. Ah, no. Trying to be fancy with Link, but I think might be overkill. Not sure. Okay, what if I delete the second one for each of these? So there's going to be a list of mastery mods. Still it doesn't work. Maybe it's just select. Okay. Must be just select them. Should try to figure out what the difference is between select many and select. But another day. So now I'm going to add to the trainable ones dot accept existing ones. So this is going to take all of them, remove the existing ones, and give us a list. And if trainable sets and skills dot count equals 0, then we're going to say label there are no trainable stats and skills available. And then we will do this and return. But if there are some available, we will say, we will also do if this object dot index add stats and skills index is greater than equal to trainable stats and skills dot count, then this object dot add stats and skills index equals 0. Because there's a chance that's going to be bigger than the last one. And I'm actually going to say equals count minus 1. Hello, Raphael. That way, if you're selecting index 10, basically the last one, and you click add, you'll just go up 1 rather than the top. I think that makes more sense. Thank you, Mehmet. I appreciate the well wishes of good luck. Okay, and then we're going to show the pop-up. So we're going to say this object, copy paste this. This object, the index is equal to pop-up, and that, and options is we need one more thing here. Dot select x dot name. So it's actually a string, a list of strings. Trainable stats and skills. That's supposed to be an array. To array. Because this accepts an array, and then these need to be length. Okay. So then a pop-up. And this is going to be a start row and an end row. And after that, there's going to be an add button. So if button add, we'll make the width 50. And then we'll do this, or undo.record object, this object dot, and then undo, add stats and skills, and we will do okay, we'll just add to the base this object dot mastery mod space dot add new, I can't remember the so it's a mastery mods it's a mastery mod that I'm adding. was doing it wrong. Mastery mod, new mod equals new mastery mod. Then new mod dot stats and skills equals okay, assign the stats and skills. And I'm going to put a clone method on this as well. And it's going to return a mastery mod. Oops. That way, over here, so I'm saying the new, and then mastery mod space will be new mod.clone. Mastery mod space. Oh, yes. So it's really for each mastery mods in mastery this object dot mastery mod space. Each dot union this object dot mastery mods per level dot union this object dot mastery mods per skill point. So for each of those, we'll do mastery mods dot mods dot add new mod dot clone. Okay. So for all of those, we're going to add a new mod dot clone. Yes, that's what we're going to do. Let's see if any of that worked. All right, so far did work. Okay, but that's really wide. I don't like it being so wide, so let's change this a little bit. The pop-up, where's the pop-up? Right here. We'll make this 300 wide, and I'm going to add above that a label. Select another stats and skills or stat skill object to modify object which will be modified by this object dot name or object name. Okay, so we've got those now. If I go over here, and that's still selected, good. And we also need to exclude ourself. We can't modify ourself. Ooh, I'm actually going to have to exclude even more. Because at some point we want to avoid circular logic where if chain modifies leather and leather modifies plate and then plate modifies chain, you can see how that, you know, keeps going. So we're going to have to do another except at some point, but we'll just add another except for the same one. Except, and this is going to be new enumerable stats and skills. Stats and skills equals new can't do it like that. New list. Okay, so we have to create a new list of that. Anyways, that'll work. It didn't work. It's supposed to exclude itself. Oh, I didn't add it to both. I should probably do this. There we go. That would make it so I don't have to add it to both. Perfect. Now I'm going to add some other trainable skills here. So we'll add some weapon skills. Stats and skills. We'll call this sword and dagger and staff and axe. We'll just do those for now. One more. Spear. And okay, bow. Oh, a bug. You don't say. This is the same issue that we had before, but coming up in a different way. or similar issue. So no mastery. We'll select our weapons. We can then select mastery levels, main master levels. Okay, and then if we go back to our inspector and do can be trained. Aha! Another bug. Aha! So essentially we need to call this again. Luckily, since this is an editor script, we can do stuff like this pretty easily. There we go. That forced it to, oh, or not. Or not. I think this could be because I'm saving and then it's doing whatever the next step is that it's missing when it calls this null. Okay. So I think by returning, it's giving it one extra editor frame to catch up, which is what wasn't doing that before. All right, so that seems to work now. Good. If we go back to our armor skills, we are now missing chain. Leather is missing leather but has chain. So good, it's missing itself. All right, so let's add plate. Now we're missing plate, good, and leather, and we'll just add those. And then, all right, under the pop-up, we're gonna show mastery list. And then show mastery list. Alright, and then on the mastery list, we'll start with a space. And you know what? I should add a space to the top of the pop-up as well. Give it some space. And then underneath that space, we will do label base effects. Or no, none of that. We don't need that. Start row and end row. Always do an end row if you do a start row. And then it's actually going to be in a for loop. So for int I equals 0, I is less than this object dot okay, var list of stats and skills equals this object dot mastery mod space union okay, to do make this the index of the selected mastery level. All right, so we are getting the novice. Right now it's currently coded to the novice mods for each one, the mods base, mods per level, mods per skill, and we're actually going to get dot select x dot stats and skills. And we need to do the same to each of these. So we're getting the stats and skills, then dot distinct, then dot to list. So that's a list of the distinct stats and skills. And actually one more thing, dot alphabetize dot order by, I'm not sure how to do this one, dot x dot name, object name. Okay, we'll try that. Okay, then for each stat, do this. Mastery index for int I equals 0, I is less than that count, I plus plus, and then for each one we're going to start row and end row, and then for now we'll just do a label list of status skills I.name. And let's see what we get. Okay. And there's no left available to add. Okay. Good. Good. And then step after that is to make a header row. Show header row. And this is just going to do start row, end row, and label empty but 200. And this is going to be 200 as well. But it's not going to be empty, I guess. Stats. Stat skill. And we make it bold. And then label base values 250 true. Do two more. Oops. Per skill point and per level. Oh man, I suddenly just had an epiphany. That these can actually be modular no. Okay, let me talk it through. So base values pretty straightforward. It affects the base values of other stats or skills. That's great. Per skill point is also fairly straightforward because it uses the point value, which is automatically a part of every stat or skill. Level is different though. Level is technically, level would itself be a stat or skill, but it's not until you add it. So it's really difficult for the system to do the auto math because of that. So shoot. Just adding a scroll ability to this section. So the base, every stat or skill has 3. I can show it. I'll just show it. So every base or every stat or skill has 3 values: points, base value, base proficiency. Now, points are meant to be user assignable. This is going to be like, oh, I have 15 health or 15 might. Now, base value gets added to that. So it's very similar, but it's another number. So perhaps the user assigns points, but this is something that is assigned elsewhere. Maybe it can be taken away, maybe it can't. That's up to you, but it gives you some flexibility in the total value. So you can still display this to the user, even though this might have an augment, like maybe you have a difficulty setting or something that augments it. Then base proficiency starts at 0, means 1% proficient. If it's above 0, you get a bonus. If it's negative 0, you get a reduction. And the final value, or the final stat value, is basically points plus base value plus other modifications to this stat's base value times the total of the proficiency between this base proficiency and all the modifications that get added to this proficiency. Plus 1 times the proficiency plus 1, so it's 1% is 0. So that's that. Now down here, right now chain is saying it's going to modify all of these. It can modify the base value, it can modify the base value and proficiency per skill point, i.e. if there are 10 points here, then it would modify the axe's base value by something times 10, or the proficiency by something times 10. Per level, that's another stat here. I mean, that's essentially level. That's a main stat, but it's not something that would show up in this column unless we add the option lock in base values, lock in per skill point. Those are great, but add in other pers. So it would essentially say, you'd have a drop down where you select another stat or skill, one that itself cannot be trained, because otherwise we get into circular logic territory. Actually, we could do some... I could think about that. But that way, you have per level, and let's say that there's something out there. I don't know. Some skill, say goldmonger, that the more gold you have, the more hit points you have. So you could say per gold adds hit points, max hit points, or strength. So the more gold you have, the stronger you are. That's actually a really cool concept that doesn't exist in the current iteration of stats and skills. So I think I need to add that. Sure, secondary skill, whatever you want. I mean, the stats and skills can be used for all sorts of things. In Legend of the Stones, you're going to see your luck value, and you're going to see your lock picking value, where lock picking is a skill you can train. What you aren't going to see is a hidden stat called, or maybe you get your theft, but you don't see lock picking. So you know your theft skill, but you don't see your lock picking value. That one is hidden from you and is calculated by the rest, but you don't actually see it. And it affects what happens when you try to pick a lock. Yeah, it's basically yeah. So per level is not going to be there. Per level is going to be, I need to add other things. The problem per, and I'm going to add per question marks here because make this user defined and allow multiples. So I want to design the look first, and then we'll think about the rest. All right. What just happened? Okay, so there's much more to do here. Oh, it's definitely mapped out. The current stature skills does all of this already. It's just the new edition is not done. But the logic behind it is all sound. $100, $175, $175, $175. Alright, $175. It's weird. Yeah, it's getting late, but I want to do a little bit more. So I want to make out my field lists here, but I need to do the all right, so mods. Mastery mod. mastery mod base equals this object dot mastery mod space mastery index dot mods dot first or default list of stats or skills I where x dot stats skills equals list of stats or skills I dot first or default. I can make this better. So it says no where, just first or default. X stats or skills. That does better. Okay. So this is going to be dot value equals float dot value 75. Vote for you. No. It's supposed to be uppercase. See, it's getting late. I'm getting tired now. Well, yeah, part of the goal of this whole refactoring exercise is to make it so that whenever I update the game modules, I can bring it into Legend of the Stones, and it doesn't break anything. So I'm gonna treat it as in like, hey, this is how you use this. Bring it into your project, use it, but don't modify anything, so that if you ever update it, it shouldn't break anything technically, unless it's a major update like this. And then yes, I need to do that at some point. Right now, though, I am kind of just working through it and building them one piece at a time, and then going back. Like after I'm done with the stats and skills, I'm gonna have to go back to the items and add the stats and skills to that, and just kind of link them all together. They're so linked together now that they can't exist separately easily. So it's just, yeah. Okay, I'm going to make a private void show double. It's actually going to return a float. And We're going to keep level in here for now, but it's going to be changed later. Just know that. Okay, so now we should get a whole row of these, and we can figure out why this is further that way than I think it should be. Is our header row a different total? It's 100. 175. 175. There must be a padding. Add 25 to the bottom of each of these to give it some padding there. Could make these skinnier by saying prof instead of proficiency. The padding didn't. Oh, needs to be padding after every one of these. Sort of, Jack. If I'm understanding you correctly, essentially there will be an option here to add any number of these columns, these effects, and based on other stats or skills. So now we created level, stat, or skill right here. So at some point you'll be able to select level and then add that here, and then per that final value you'll do value and proficiency. Stat skill down, and then those, I just don't know what's the deal is here, but there seems to be a little bit of a padding between each of these labels that's taking effect here, causing these to go too far to the left. Just gonna push them over. That's actually that's good enough for now. I can work on the UX later. Now this X button is going to remove this from this, and then there will be an add button. So first, let's make sure that we're not going to throw ourselves in error. So if this is null, then we're going to say and the width is 75, 150, 175, 2, 175, and then another padding. Okay, and then if we click the X, then we're going to do undo.record object, this object, undo, remove mastery mod value. This is spelled wrong. And then this object dot mastery mods. I guess we could do a return value. Cool. Return true. Otherwise, return false. And true means we deleted it. So if we delete it, then do something. Then we say this object dot mastery mods base mastery index dot remove mods dot remove Does that work? Maybe it does. I have to exit GUI as well. Okay. And if we're adding it, shoot. Darn, I was hoping I forgot there's an add button too. Well, I guess we could say if contains mem base, then we'll do the delete. Otherwise, I'll just specify it. I don't think I have to specify that. Now, if it doesn't, I'll do the else. Else. Shoot. I don't think this is going to work right because I actually don't have a reference. It was null. Hello, Athena's owl. Well, if base isn't available, then one of these two has to be. Otherwise, it wouldn't have shown at all. So equals mskill dot null equals null question mark. Wow, close to. Yes, there's a possible null reference, but it shouldn't. Okay. Now the delete and the add should technically work. Huh. wonder why that got called. Okay, add doesn't work, but the delete works fine. Oh yeah. No propagation. That's clean. Somehow this was being called and I'm not sure where. Okay, add's not working. Okay, I think I need to rewrite this whole panel because I'm thinking instead of doing it horizontally, I'm going to have to do it vertically anyways because I'm going to have unknown number of these. So it'd be a lot easier just to do one row, one vertical per thing. And that would probably make it easier to do this whole undos and adds and deletes and stuff. But the point is that you'll be able to delete these so that if you don't even want to see it, you don't even have to see it. I might even make those black so that they're even harder to see, or maybe even smaller, who knows. This whole issue where they're coming over will be moot once they're columns. And these can be centered too, which is nice. So I'm going to be calling it a night now. I'm getting a little hungry, and I need to go to bed soon. So that's that. And let's try this out. Meet me at camera 1. Oh, now I'm a hat. Oh, well, now you see my head. Well, thanks for joining. I hope you had a good time. I had a good time. I did some stuff. Got a lot of progress done. Got a lot of bugs fixed and founded. A lot of good stuff done tonight. Oh, you can see I didn't turn my lights back on. I forgot to turn. I need a button to turn my lights on. I've got a button to turn them off and a button to turn them on, but there's no button to change the intensity of them. And I think this light needs to be there or something. Anyways. Oh yeah, and I didn't turn on my sign. See? I turn it off when I'm actually coding because it's distracting, as you can imagine. But it's nice to have it there. And I'm going to have a cocktail. I think tonight's Manhattan because I'm out of my chocolate martinis. I went through 2 bottles of a chocolate liqueur in the past few weeks. It's been a while since I had chocolate martinis. But I will indulge in a single drink tonight. 1 Manhattan. So I want to say thank you all for joining. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you've seen this whole thing on YouTube after the fact, glad you watched the whole thing. It was quite long. Maybe you skipped a little bit. That's fine. But nearly 4 hours long. So like, subscribe, come back again. I will be doing this again. There's more to do here for the stats and skills. Stats and skills is a very exciting module. And oh, I'm not into the fall flavors. No, sorry, Athena's apple. I don't like... I mean, I could drink some hot apple cider, but realistically, I don't like nutmeg. I don't like spice this, pumpkin that. Fall flavors, not for me. Just the way it is. But we got a lot to do on the stats and skills. I think adding the ability to use any other stat or skill as itself a modifier, default modifier per mastery level of other stats or skills is really, really cool. The example I gave earlier where, stat and skills, gold is a stat. In a lot of games you have gold, some number of gold pieces. And I think it's really interesting if there were some thing, I don't know what it is, another stat perhaps, maybe there's a hidden stat in your game called wealth, right? And the amount of gold you have affects your wealth value. Now, wealth isn't just gold, so maybe there's something else that also affects your wealth value. Maybe you feel more wealthy when you have a lot of skills or a lot of items or something like that. So essentially, you could set wealth, or let's see, you could set gold to affect wealth in some way, shape, or form. Something like that. Or might. Maybe when I get the items working with stats or skills, you could have a golden sword that is more powerful the more money you have. That could be interesting. Now, these are things you could also code yourself in your own game, but if it's built in, that's cool too. I just think it makes sense to allow that to be built into the system to some degree. These are supposed to be flexible. They're supposed to be allowing you to do your own thing, but any assistance they can give is helpful. So yeah, so thanks for joining. I hope you have a wonderful night. I'm gonna go grab that drink and go to bed. Got an early meeting, not looking forward to it, although it's an important meeting. It will affect a lot of people, hopefully in a very good way. All right, see y'all.